You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 415 of Podketeers. This week we talk about Bob Iger continuing his investment journey by adding a couple more companies to his portfolio. One of our Disney Plus favorites gets an official TikTok account. We get our first look at an iconic character's final run. Fantasmic is back and Tale of the Lion King gets a new home. New characters are now appearing at Galaxy's Edge, and we talk about whom we'd like to see come to the land. Plus, we talk about the all-new Disney Plus original series, Obi-Wan. Of course, we'd love to hear your thoughts on what we talk about in this episode, and you can join the conversation over on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Just search for Podketeers. If you're not yet following us, we'd love for you to join our Discord server. Joining the community is super simple. Just head over to podketeers.com/415 and click on the Discord logo, or you can click on the link in our pinned IG story. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. So that's going to wrap up the intro. It's time to jump into the podcast. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the episode and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 415 of Podketeers. I think we nailed it.
Really?
I think from the video, I think we nailed it this time. Dream a fantastic dream. No, you're supposed to keep singing. I was just providing your harmony. No, still nothing? Okay, fine.
Oh. Well, there's nothing. If it's the beginning, then it's just like ding, 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 ding.
No, but then you have the dream a fantastic dream.
Whoa. Yeah.
And then something about it's your
imagination. Your imagination.
Yes, use your imagination.
That's it. That was the
right.
exact note, too.
Yeah, we're going to get a copyright strike if we keep
Nostalgia.
going.
I have
me hard.
the original version memorized forward and backwards, and the new one I just don't know as well. So I don't remember what they've changed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is open again finally, so there are additional changes that have been implemented. Has anyone had an opportunity to check it out, or have you seen the changes in the updated version?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I haven't been down. It's been too long. Hopefully I'll be back soon, but don't know when that is. But I'll probably have to watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, I might not wait for this one. I think I'm past don't ruin it with a YouTube video, because so many people tend to ruin it on social media now that I feel that if I personally seek it out on YouTube and watch an entire video, it's better than the 15-second version that I'm going to see on TikTok or Instagram Reels, because then it's just a teaser. And I think to myself, why would you post that and not give me the whole thing? So, yeah, I'm past the whole it's going to spoil it for me. I'd rather seek it out and watch the whole thing now.
Yeah, same here. I'll see it when I can.
Man, it was a big weekend for Star Wars. And, man, this is going to be a difficult episode for me. There's so many S's in everything that we're going to say today. I have a new Invisalign tray set in. While I was a little sick, I decided not to wear them because I didn't want to have to clean them out and everything. And let me tell you, it regressed some of the progress. And so I had to step back a little bit. And so it's not clicking in all the way. And so it's making it a little difficult to speak. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. I think at some point there might, like, I would say listen for it, because I feel like I'm going to whistle at some point while I'm saying, like, Star Wars or something. I don't know. But if it happens...
So you were saying...
it might happen. Who knows?
It's
Listen for
Wednesday.
it. That's right.
It's Wednesday. There we go.
So if that happens, I might have to, I don't know, give something out or something. I don't know.
I don't know. At least you're not sounding like Sid the Sloth or something.
Yeah.
Invisalign.
You know what? I think earlier when I popped them in, I sounded closer to that. I think because I've been gradually like pushing them in, they give you like you also have these little like foam cylinders you can chew on to help create some pressure to snap them into place. I think because I've been doing it, they've kind of fit. Like they hurt right now. I will tell you that. Like the pressure and the pulling right now is intense.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that's going to be like the next couple of days, but I mean, it's my own fault for not continuing, you know. But
well, if you want me to talk the rest of the episode like this, I will.
No, I
Just
bet
so
that's
you
gonna
sound-
hurt.
I will. I will do it the whole time.
No.
It'd be so fun. Everybody can understand every word I'm saying right now.
I bet that's gonna hurt after a while. So no, please
No, it doesn't
don't.
hurt. It's just right in the mouth, and you hold it, and you hold your tongue and your cheek really far in, and you just make lots of weird spit sounds. And it's great.
Now say bump bump.
In the criminal justice system.
Oh.
Dun dun. Wrong bump bump.
Yeah.
But
The other bumble.
so yeah.
These are their stories.
So big weekend for Star Wars. Star Wars Celebration was in Anaheim, and I'll be honest, I kind of took the weekend off of everything. I just decided to kind of relax and do some stuff around the house. And I know that there was a lot of stuff posted, but outside of the bigger announcements, I don't know much about what happened. I don't know if any of you were able to keep up. I know that members of the FGP Squad were at Star Wars Celebration.
Nice.
Albert posted a
Yeah.
couple of pictures from there. Heather went to Star Wars Night over the weekend as well, which I thought was super cool. But yeah, outside of that, I think I found out more about what was happening from our text chain and from Discord than I did from anything else, really. The Star Wars YouTube channel posted the days from Celebration on their channel, so you can go watch them. If you wanted to check those out, we'll post the video links in the blog post for this episode, podketeers.com/415. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Star Wars, later on in the episode. The new Obi-Wan Kenobi show is on Disney Plus. The first 2 episodes dropped. We'll talk about that later on as well. But I did want to bring something up because we recently talked about Bob Iger and, his recent investment in eBay.
And soup.
Soup.
Party soups.
Yep.
Bob has been busy because not only did he invest in eBay, but he just dropped another $15 billion on a delivery startup called GoPuff.
Okay. All right. All that money. I'm like, woo.
I know. I've never heard of this company before. I had to
Yeah.
go and look it up a little bit, but their description is that they are an American consumer goods and food delivery company headquartered out of Philadelphia. They operate in about 650 cities, and they have about 500 micro-fulfillment centers as of October of 2021. They also have operations in the United Kingdom. And I don't know if this is like an Amazon competitor or if it's kind of like a mix of like Grubhub or Instacart, like all those like shopping apps where you could just kind of buy everything, they deliver it for you. And then on top of that, he made another investment, which this was an undisclosed number, by the way. But he also invested in Canva.
Whoa.
Hey, I use that.
Yeah. A lot of people like Canva's great. I started using Canva after you told me about it. And, for the most part, I made a lot of stuff in Photoshop, and Photoshop is great, but sometimes you just need to quickly put something together. And I have to admit, the tools in Canva are pretty robust.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't even need to pay the monthly fee for it. Like, the Pro account does have a few more, some additional options, but it's pretty robust in its free form, for what it does. And it's not just like images. Like, you do slideshows and small videos and animated GIFs and all sorts of stuff. But apparently, Bob Iger sees this GoPuff company and Canva as being much stronger in the future because he just dropped a bunch of his own money on this. The Canva one may have involved an investment firm, but I think the GoPuff one was $15 billion of his own money, if I read that correctly. So yeah, Bob's been busy.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say Bobby's been busy. Sheesh. Giving money away. This is crazy. But as we were talking about, the whole Funko situation, good things may be coming out of this. So if this delivery service becomes number one, then hey, we'll just keep an eye out on it. Just the number blows my mind.
Yeah.
Woo.
You know what? GoPuff. So it looks like GoPuff is, kind of like it looks like a kind of like grocery store things, but delivered. Like, it's like a local, it would be something in your community that then they just only do deliveries kind of thing.
So like an Instacart situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but stuff would just come straight from GoPuff's warehouse kind of thing, as opposed to Instacart where you go to Safeway and order your stuff from Safeway and somebody picks it up. So it's kind of like Amazon but Instacart, or like Amazon when they have the 1 hour or whatever delivery in your area.
Okay.
But you know what? I wasn't wrong, because it looks like you can get soup
No.
from GoPuff. So Bob Iger
And
is investing in hearty soups.
There you go.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. I was right. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
So I'm on the GoPuff website, and
Me too, and there's
hashtag not
nothing near me.
sponsored. Okay, I'm just saying, but we're open for it, GoPuff, if you want, to throw a little something our way. But they have
Little
this
hearty
cool
soup.
slider, a little hearty soup, yeah. So they have this slider, and it's got like Listerine and Pepsi and Windex and bread and toilet paper, Red Bull, beer, diapers, Scrub Daddy sponges, dog treats. Oh, peanut butter cups, my favorite. Like, it's got like everything. I love it. So I wonder how late they operate.
I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's one near me.
Now I'm wondering if at 2 a.m. I get a hankering for peanut butter cups and Red Bull and toilet paper. Like,
A hankering for toilet paper?
you never know, man.
Alrighty.
You never know. But
Nice.
if you got a hankering for something, like, how late will they deliver? Because some of these delivery services obviously have limits, because
questions.
if the location is closed, then they can't go shopping for you. But if this is from their warehouse, I'm joking about it, but let's say
No,
it's 2
this'll-
a.m. and you
Parties.
run out of diapers. No, but
Or
let's say
that
like
too.
you're a parent and you run out of diapers at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But like, this is a fantastic service so far. So I don't know.
My-
I'm gonna look into it more.
I was gonna say
I
my
don't know.
mind went the
They-
other way.
They don't deliver to my house, but they deliver to my mom's house. So this is something that I can investigate.
Saw that
Yeah.
Selena Gomez is an investor as well. They have listed on our website. I think that's somewhere on there if you can see.
In GoPuff?
Yeah.
No way. What?
No, serious.
That's interesting.
Yes. Among its investors, Selena Gomez. So
It must be good.
Huh.
I don't know. Interesting take. This might be one of those celebrity portfolios. You go to an investment firm and they're like, "Hey, here's our go-tos." When it comes to services like this, like if I'm looking at investment, I'm for Bob Iger. How does it tie to Disney? I don't know if it ties to Disney from what his old stomping grounds were, but I wonder how much they're investing in autonomous delivery and autonomous robots like doing things within the warehouse. I think that makes a big difference in these delivery services in the future. Like one of my most ones I watch for investment, there are companies right now in New York and the East Coast that have pizza trucks that literally the pizza's made on like a truck, and once you order it, like all autonomous, and then by the time it gets to you, you open a tray and it's steaming hot, ready for you to get out of the delivery truck.
Okay, that is awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
That is cool. Because I've seen the vending machines. Like, I've
Right.
seen that, like, truck stops have, like, the vending machines where they put together and it says, please do not touch the box because it's, like, 425 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, if the truck drives to you and makes it on the way, that's super cool.
Isn't that cool? Times it out just right.
Oh, man. Don't they have, because they do have the delivery bots that look like little Wall-E things where it normally has a pizza or something inside, right?
Inside.
But it's a
this is a
single
truck.
delivery. Oh, man.
Right
I
now
have
they
your
still have
question.
drivers. Go ahead.
So 24/7 delivery. I was digging through the
Oh.
yeah. I'm
Oh,
like
for
looking.
GoPuff?
Yeah.
Okay, look.
This changes everything.
That's
yes,
it.
it does.
You're
That's the
welcome,
moneymaker.
everyone.
My hankering for toilet paper at 2 a.m. just
There you
got, like, it got
What
real,
kind of
yo.
weird stuff can I buy?
I want soup.
I looked up soup. You know what?
No.
I just made an account with GoPuff so I could see how many soups they
Wow.
have. So you can get 1, 2, 3. You can get Progresso, Campbell's, Maruchan, Mike's Mighty Good, Amy's. Let's see, bunch of different of those. Swanson's. Who's this? Dr. McDougal. I don't know who that
I
is.
don't know who that is either.
Yeah. You can get
Wow.
all kinds of soup.
All right, I'm setting up my account, too.
You know what? Let's see what's on.
God, this is just an ad.
You know what?
Yeah, we got to get past it. So this non-named website that we're looking at, I mean, look, if they
you
want
can buy
to...
alcohol at 2 a.m. if you want.
There
They
you
got a
go.
whole- like a huge section. I don't drink, but
Yeah, I don't
party
either, but I know
supplies is a section. Let's see what's under
That's
party
needed.
supplies.
party
You
poppers.
always forget that one thing. You think I'm joking, but the honey-do list, you know, in the middle of the day, like, oh no, we didn't get the paper
Let's
plates.
see.
You didn't
at
get the
2
dip and
a.m.
the chips.
At
The
2 a.m.
guac.
we can get bookshelf speakers delivered.
What?
They have Bluetooth speakers.
I'm in the recording studio. I need it.
$51.99.
Wow.
Yeah, that's in party supplies. Charcuterie board. A gift bag. All kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Nice.
Look, the more I'm hearing
get-
about this thing, the more impressed I am.
Yeah.
Even home and office and some health stuff. See, that's another great thing. Not a lot of pharmacies are open 24/7, so if you can get, medication or something delivered within 30 minutes.
Right.
All right, I'm going too far into the rabbit hole on this one. So
Makeup.
there it is.
Yeah, who needs to record an episode?
Yeah.
We're just gonna order Hot Pockets.
I like Hot Pockets.
That was under Quick Meals.
Nice.
Hot Pockets.
So there you go. So Bob Iger changing the world
For reals.
with
We
these
can get Hot
services.
Pockets at 3 a.m.
No longer will your hankering
Let's
for
see,
Hot
can-
Pockets
can-
go unanswered.
Can Grogu get chalky milk and chicken nuggets on GoPuff?
I'm gonna say yes.
Let's see. You can get Yoo-Hoo chocolate milk is the only kind of chocolate milk.
Close
they have.
enough.
Or
Very
Hershey's
close.
chocolate syrup.
And milk, right? Can you get milk?
Let's see. Hold on. I was looking up chicken nuggets. You can get plant-based chicken nuggets.
Okay.
So that's fine. Oh, no. Yeah, plant-based. Let's see. Do they got milk? Last one. Milk. Malk.
Malk.
Yes, you can get Horizons milk, almond. You can get almond milk. You can get Organic Valley, Chobani oat milk. Yep, they got milk. All right.
Okay.
Grogu endorsed website, apparently.
Nice. Well, it's not. Obviously, this is not an ad. They are not sponsoring us. We're just pretty excited
Yet.
about. Yes, yet. We're just pretty excited about the fact that we can order these random things at 2:00 in the morning for a $3 delivery fee. Might I add?
That's not
I'm looking
bad.
at their like FAQs, and that's not bad at all.
They have like groupings of things. Like this is stuff for a sick day, or snacks from the 90s, or stuff like that. So I think that's kind of fun.
They need a Mexican snacks. in
Oh
there.
my gosh, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh,
They need like a Mexican snack section, and then my night will be made. Said the guy who's trying to clean up everything that he's eating.
I looked up Mexican snacks, and it gave me Pop Secret and Cheetos, so I don't think that's right.
Oh, they got Pocky sticks. All right, I have to stop. This is bad.
Okay,
We're,
about
we're
to
never
say.
moving on.
Off the GoPuff
The ad
website.
is
This is
real right now.
All right, I'm closing the tab. I have to move on.
We're
here.
at 20 minutes of talking about
Investments that Bob Iger has made. That's
Correct.
what we're talking
party
about.
soups that can get delivered.
So I mean,
Anyway,
look, obviously,
Congrats, Bob.
Yeah, obviously, this is a really great move. I have to agree with Larry, so we can circle back on this and wrap this talk up. That I think the autonomous connection here is going to be really key, because for startups or for any company that's entering into competition with behemoths like Amazon, for instance, having that autonomy is going to be crucial to keeping your workforce light while still being able to fulfill a bunch of orders. And if you have it not only in the warehouse, but if you have it upon the delivery as well, you know, you see a lot of companies going into the autonomous delivery, like Walmart and a couple of other vendors have drones that will fly over your house and drop a bag of the stuff that you buy within like feet of your front door.
Do it. I want a drone to deliver me soup.
Yeah, well, let's hope that it's in a can. But, you know,
just in a bag.
not just in a bag, yeah. But that's what makes this exciting, right? That, you know, maybe Bob's investment is going to be the next step, like Larry said, in bringing that type of stuff here and keeping it affordable for people that need to use these types of services. So I'm excited to see where this goes. The Canva one is a little more interesting for me because, you know, Canva's already pretty awesome on its own. Like, I don't know, like, what's next is video editing capabilities. It's pretty rudimentary.
I think you're on it.
Yeah, you can just build like chunks of animation together to do a video.
So maybe that's the next step, right? Maybe they have a separate app that does that, especially now that TikTok got into that. Like the latest version of TikTok, it's making some waves, I think, because they added timeline editing, which wasn't available before. And considering the fact that, you know, sites like Instagram are really pushing stuff like Instagram Reels and this longer form content. Like when I first started on Instagram, it was to help, you know, display my photography. It was to get photographs out there, and I love posting, and it was great. But if you post a photo now, if you don't have 100,000 followers, you're not going to get any type of engagement on that. You know, you're going to get less than 2% of the people that already follow you, and that's by design. You know, Instagram has very slowly been becoming an app not about photography, but about commerce, you know, because they're really pushing accounts that have some kind of shop attached and they have items available for purchase. But the one thing that's consistent across all of these apps is the video content. And so if Bob Iger is bringing in money to help Canva take the next step in video, that might be where we see the biggest growth there. So, I mean, if you have the money, these are companies that you might want to invest in. Like if Bob Iger says they're good enough to invest in, like, I don't know. I'm going to see if I can find a few bucks to throw their way as well.
Yeah, seems like a smart move. I mean, I'm no venture capitalist or anything.
We're not
but
FDIC. We're not certified. None of that.
Disclaimer. Should make that clear.
But
we are not
so
your
great minds
accountants.
think alike, like they say, right?
Absolutely. Let's see what else. I did want to mention this before, since we're on TikTok and we've talked about this before. Andrew, you'll be happy to know that Bluey now has an official TikTok account.
You know what? Bluey's the best. Bluey, I might have to download TikTok just for Bluey, because Bluey is great. And Bluey's dad and Bingo and everybody and Mom. And yeah, I love Bluey. He's great.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any Bluey in a while since I've stopped helping my niece with school. But yeah, Bluey's great.
So Bandit, Bluey's dad, I you know how we've been testing out a bunch of stickers and everything, and I keep placing them on my water bottles to test them. I need a Bandit sticker on something. I have decided that Bandit just needs to be a sticker that lives on my tablet or my water bottle or something, because
He is very hilarious.
I mean, it's a funny show, and it's one of those rare instances where kids enjoy it, but there's also a lot of really great knowledge for parents.
It's like a parenting show that kids watch.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so weird. It's
Never
so
heard
weird.
of it. It's cool.
It's an
you haven't heard of
Australian
Bluey?
show,
We've
yeah.
talked about Bluey before.
I know we've talked about, but I never heard the premise of the show. I
Oh,
don't think
Yeah.
we've
it's just
gotten that
like
deep.
it's like a family. There's two kids and the two parents, and they just kind of tackle some life issue things, like just like things that kids do,
Yeah,
like
Gotcha.
going to school and playing around and all kinds of different stuff like that.
yeah.
Bandit's cute.
And some of the topics, they just dive right in. Like they don't really sugarcoat it either. Like it's almost like they're helping you know how to tell your own kids about these issues as well, especially if you have
That's
trouble
cool.
describing those things. So it's as much a parenting show, like Andrew said, as it is a kids show. But yeah, Bandit gotta be a sticker on something going forward. I thought you'd get a kick out of that, so I immediately, as soon as I saw it in my For You page, I was like, yep, followed.
All right, I'm gonna figure this out. Discover Bluey's popular videos.
Oh, hey, since we're talking about kid stuff, guess what's returning? Chalk Walk!
Yay!
Chalk Walk is coming back August 27th, 2022. It is the 30th anniversary of the Chalk Walk, and they're promising something big. Not a lot of information is out about what they're going to be doing so far. It looks like it is going to be an in-person event, depending obviously on how things go during or after the summer. I'm sure that some kind of security protocol is going to be in place depending on, again, how things are going. But it is scheduled to be an in-person return August 27th. We are going to be doing a fundraiser for Chalk Walk again this year, as we do every year. We have a couple of auctions planned already. I've been collecting a few items over the course of the last year in order to try to auction them off for Chalk. I want to try to save some of those because I know we're going to be auctioning them off for things like Walk for Hope and everything later on in the year as well. But I'm pretty excited. More information on that is going to be coming soon. I'm probably going to be setting up the team within the next week or two. Once I do that, I'll announce it. It'll be on our Discord channel. It'll be on Instagram. That way you can sign up. You can help us fundraise. You can give a donation. If that's not within your scope, you can always help share it. That's always really helpful to us as well. It's not always about the donations, but you sharing it and telling other people that can donate is one of the best ways to help us raise money for Chalk. So more info on that is coming soon. And yeah, pretty excited.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, can you talk a little bit about this image that you shared about your favorite explorer?
Let me hold on. I want to be able to describe this. So we see a picture and you see a bridge and someone walking across it, and this person's wearing a fedora. And suddenly you just hear Raiders March. It's just playing in your ear, and it's just getting louder and louder because we just seen the first look of Indiana Jones for his final movie. So seeing this made me so happy because it's more than just that it's happening and it's happening. It's just more than talk. We get to see his silhouette, and it's so cool. It is so cool. So of course I was excited to show you guys because it's been a while since we heard about anything indie. I mean, of course we don't know what's about or anything, but this is kind of like when we got the first tease of Hatbox Ghost coming back. So it's just a silhouette, and you're like, I want more. I want to see more. And yeah, so it's the first look of Indiana Jones. Number 5. I don't think we have the title yet. But we do have a date, and I believe it's going to be next year. So that's cool.
I did look it up. June 30th, 2023 is the release date, or the anticipated release date.
There you go.
What do we want it to be called?
The
Indiana Jones and the
Brown Fedora.
and the can of soup.
And the can of
Indiana
soup.
Jones
and
forever.
the can of hearty soup.
Yep.
Indiana
forever.
Jones Endgame.
Indiana Jones and the 2 a.m. order from GoPuff.
Have you seen? So there's
You
been
guys
some
got any whips?
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Let me bring the website back up.
Oh no.
They have whipped cream. I saw that. Is that close enough? Ready whip.
I didn't need whipped cream. I needed a whip. It's funny.
Nazis. Might have to be snakes. Can't get a snake with it. I don't know. I can't do it. Anyway, there's been some leaked images or whatever. People have been taking pictures from the set, and some people are kind of confused on what's going on because they're seeing, like, in one image there's like a crashed World War II plane, and then like a bunch of like Roman soldiers. And then, I don't remember what the third thing was, but it was like things that didn't go in the same timeline together.
It's a multiverse.
Yes. Some people were speculating that it might be like something takes place on the set of a movie or something like that. Like there's a Roman movie
Crashed
kind
into a
of
movie.
thing, like that they crash and are fighting again. I don't know. But yeah, there's been some images and things like that. People are trying to figure out what's going on. But yeah, I'm super excited, and I hope Sala comes back.
Me too. Other than that, I don't think I have any expectations. Just no aliens. That's it. Other than that,
What about
That's it.
Predators?
No.
sure.
Which predators? The jungle or like the predator versus alien?
Like
ones?
Predator.
Predator
like
versus
the Predator.
alien.
Okay.
He said no
Xenomorph?
alien, but he didn't say
Okay.
nothing about Predator.
All right.
Good. Though. That was good.
About Chuck Norris.
Everything's better with Chuck Norris. I mean, I kind of like the idea of Dr. Jones into the Indieverse. Like, if we actually got like a multiverse of Indiana Jones, that'd be pretty cool. Because Jock Lindsay would be introduced, and we get an entire SEA story that could go along with it.
What do you mean? What Jock Lindsay is introduced?
I mean, no, he plays a bigger part in this one because he's already been
okay.
introduced.
I was like,
in the
he's
film.
been in these.
Yes, he's been in them
That's
before.
just
but
my pet snake, Reggie.
right, but he
Come
plays
on.
a bigger part in this one, and he's
I
like the
see.
Stephen Strange of the universe to Dr. Jones. I mean, I guess maybe
Gotcha.
that's Sala. All right, we can
Ooh.
figure this out. I mean, they're still making it.
Indiana Jones is Doctor Strange, and Sala is Wong, and Jock Lindsay is Mordu, and
Who's Peter?
Nice.
Who's Peter Parker?
Peter Parker. Short round.
Short
of
round,
course.
yeah.
All right, well, you know what? This is writing itself. So let's
All right,
do
let's
this
get out
off
the
the
pen
podcast.
before somebody else steals.
Yeah,
this.
let's do this off podcast, and then we'll submit it, and this will be a supplemental storyline.
You know what? They might buy it for like a Indiana Jones book or something. They do all kinds of stuff like that.
They always do make stories that are canon.
Ooh.
I like it.
As long as there's like some whip action and some Nazis, it's an Indiana Jones story.
Snakes.
That's all you really need, and some snakes. There you go.
Why is it
Sorry,
always gotta
Heyzen.
be about snakes? And of course now a 2 a.m. soup order from GoPuff because
And whipped cream.
and whipped cream. Cool. Well, yeah, I like you said, Mel. I think having the image add some legitimacy to what's happening, right? Because we always see these projects that are, you're talking about them, they're talking about them. They get a director, they lose a director. They get a script, they lose a script, and then they get an actor to play the lead part, and then they're like, well, I'm beefing with this other guy. I don't want to do this, and to actually see that something is happening, that they're on set, that they're filming, that things are actually progressing, and to get that screenshot, it's pretty exciting. Obviously, this is going to be the last time that we see Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. I know we brought this up before, but have you given any more thought to who you would like to carry the torch of Indy again? Because I don't think we came up with like a good answer last time either.
I don't think we did. It's so difficult to pinpoint one person. It's
Well, yeah, I think what we had brought up, because I'd looked up a list. What we had brought up was like any chance of Indy getting rebooted is well after Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford have passed. So we have to be looking at somebody that's like 10 now. So
Yeah.
or maybe like in their teens, like, and I don't know who, like Finn Wolfhard or something is the only like person that I know that is young from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And other than that, I don't really know young Sheldon. Like, is the young Rock, any of them? Those are the young actors I know. How about just Harrison Ford lives forever and he can just keep doing it? Or
Yeah.
we can clone him or something.
Well,
there you go.
yeah.
Science.
See, he'll just live forever and they'll just keep making Indiana Jones adventures and like keep progressing the time, because this new one's supposed to take place in like the 60s. So just like, then we'll have like an 80s Indiana Jones and an early 2000s Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's precedent for this, right? Obviously, when somebody gets aged out of a role, they want to do their best to find somebody that's going to fit into the role for the future, right? Like we're seeing that now with Star Wars. We're going to be talking about Obi-Wan in a little bit, but we're obviously seeing that with like the replacement of Alec Guinness with Ewan McGregor, right? So eventually, like right now, Mark Hamill has been a pretty big part of the Star Wars series, whether he's done a cameo or the voice of like one of the droids or something. But we already kind of saw the digital enhancement and like the digital reproduction of Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian. The next step is obviously to recast him, because we're going to be starting to see that story unfold. I know that they can probably write around it, but there's got to be someone out there that can play Indiana Jones. Maybe it's some unknown actor that we've never seen before. That way there's no legacy to what they've done. They're not typecast. It's not going to be like Daniel Radcliffe or something, like, because obviously he's Wolverine. But, I mean, maybe it's some, like, unknown person. So, I don't know. I'm going to put the question out there because I think we did it last time, or maybe we didn't ask. I don't remember. But
young Sheldon. I'm just going to say young
if
Sheldon.
You have an idea of who might make a good replacement for Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones once Harrison Ford finishes this film, retires from the role, who do you think would be a good replacement? Join the conversation over on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, or join the community over on Discord. We'd love to hear your thoughts. We'd love to hear who you think would be a good Dr. Jones in the future. And maybe they do young Dr. Jones. That was a TV show already. So
the young Indiana Jones with see, that would have been fine, I think, but River Phoenix is no longer with us, so we can't like keep that going. But okay, serious answer. Here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Michael Pena.
I thought you said serious answer.
That's very serious.
Seriously?
And then he just explains everything he's going to do in a silly way.
I mean, he did a great job doing it in Ant-Man, so why not?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's, what?
All right, you know what? I'm sold.
You know what? Maybe instead of making another Indiana Jones movie, we just need to make like you're saying, Indiana Jones universe movies. Like we need a Marion Ravenwood movie. We need a Sala movie. Like all the other, the character group of Indiana Jones is so rich with backstory that hasn't been explored.
True.
You can do the what do I want to call it? The Rogue One kind of story where it's like this is the partner story to what was happening. How did Marion get the bar? How did how did all that go? What was Solid doing all this time? What's Marcus Brody doing at the college? Like
And you know what the perfect person to do that? Jock Lindsay. We could call it Jock's Tales. New on Disney Plus coming June 2023.
You know what? We didn't get some top men on this.
All right.
Top
we'll add this
men.
to the treatise. We'll add this to our list of things that we're writing for Disney Plus. Our production company is going to be booming. Bob Iger.
What has Henry Jones been up to this whole time?
Right? Right? All right, Bob Iger, look, I know you're listening.
What happened to Short Round?
We're going to need some seed money for the Podketeers production company so that we can write all these shows for Disney Plus. And when we make you a lot of money, we want to also create a delivery service of some sort. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe toys.
Laoshe Airlines.
But
Oh,
we'll
gosh,
figure it
that's
out.
perfect.
Nice.
Wow.
Imports and exports. That's what
Yep.
we're in.
Deliver to Club Obi-Wan.
We're in the import and export business. Yeah, if you have any idea, join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. If you're not part of our Discord community yet, it's super easy to join us. You can either click on the link that we left on our Instagram stories, or you can go to the blog post for this episode, podketeers.com/415. Click on the Discord logo. It takes a couple clicks, and you'll be signed up, and you'll be joining us there. We have a poll up right now. I wish I would have posted it sooner because we would have had the results for this episode, but I put up the poll that we talked about last week, and we asked, does Gore the God Butcher look like Lord Voldemort in the Love and Thunder trailer? So far, it looks like a lot of people agree. I don't have a final number yet, but, for the next episode, we'll have a
Most
final.
people agree.
Yeah.
It
Because
looks like
he does. Like right now, it's 7-2. Like as of when I looked at it right now, 7-2.
Yeah. That's a pretty good percentage.
Who are these two people?
Oh, look.
Listen here, two people.
Oh, you know what?
better-
I think one of them.
One of them is Heyzen.
No. I think the
It's the bot.
tool that we use
Yeah.
automatically votes once for each of them to get the ball rolling, so that there's something for people to click on. So technically, we have to remove
Oh.
one vote because.
Okay.
So if you look at
All
them,
right, you-
Forky votes for both of them, or
I
for
see.
all.
Okay.
And if you're
Ah.
wondering why it's Forky, because Forky asks the questions, of course.
Naturally.
I don't know.
Okay, so person on Discord who voted no, who are you? Make yourself known.
Aye. That's me.
It's Larry. It's you, Larry.
It is me. Look at the
All right.
numbers.
You know what? It's Larry. Can I just look? Will it just tell me who voted that way? and
So
don't know?
I think if
I
you
had
hold
no
down,
idea.
Nope. No, vote up, Andrew. I clicked
You
on
have
it
to
see.
hold. I think on mine, you have to hold a long
Oh,
press.
Yeah,
yeah,
if you long
Forky
press.
and Larry.
I think it's gonna stick. That literally with the Forky joke. That's gonna stick.
funny.
It was me.
That's funny. Well, if you want to vote and you want to make your voice known on this one, head over to our Discord channel. But maybe we could do some like Indiana Jones one in there as well.
Yeah.
Should we
Who
get
should be
Andrew
in
to
well,
play
yeah.
Sala in the next Indiana Jones project? Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. No, John Rhys Davies needs work. He's not been in anything recently.
But maybe you could be young Sala.
Young Sala.
Yeah.
Oh, you
A
would.
reboot
Young
for
Sala-
ABC.
You know what? If you go to my Sala Instagram, when we went to D20, the last D23 we went to, there was a Disney Plus like little video you would make, and it was me. I was dressed up as Sala, and Melissa was there, my wife Tina. And it's just like videos of us kind of doing stuff. It's like an ad for Disney Plus, and I posted on there. It's like young Sala coming to Disney Plus in 2020.
Oh, you're 2 years overdue, man.
I know.
It's time to get back into the studio now that the things are getting back from the pandemic.
Yep.
I know. We need to get it going. Some people are like, really? I'm like, yep, really.
All right, Bob, I know you're listening. Let's get this thing going for Andrew.
We need young Sala.
Young Sala coming to ABC and Disney Plus this fall from the makers of Young Sheldon. Let's see what else. Fantasmic back in the parks happening.
Nice.
Let's see. Tale of the Lion King has officially moved from California Adventure to the old Mickey and the Magical Map Theater. Any word as to why they made that change? Like, I don't have anything against the Lion King. I'm just did Mickey and the Magical Map just like were people just sick of it or something? Or
I don't know. I wasn't. That's for
it's
sure.
a great show.
I thought it was
Yeah.
great. They're like, we're getting rid of it. Pandemic, something, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if it was just too expensive to run, if it was too many cast members or too many, I don't know, crew or whatever, who knows. There's must be a reason, and most of the reasons are usually money. So that would be my guess, because it seemed to be well received every time I would see it. It was always packed in there, hard to find a seat. You got to get there early.
Yeah.
So this Lion King show seems good. It seems to have, people are saying good things about it when it was over in California Adventure. So I hope it goes over well. I haven't personally watched it, but yeah, I don't know why Mickey the Magical Map is gone, but hopefully this is a worthy replacement.
Yeah.
It's pretty cute. I got to see it a few years ago, and it's what you just mentioned is, yeah, it was packed. I think, yeah, I don't remember when, but I remember there was an earthquake before I got to see it, so that was fun.
Oh.
But I think because I want to see what it's different, since it's going to be at a different location. I'm really curious, and I'll see, like, I'll check out some videos, see if anyone's posted anything, but I honestly feel like it could be bigger. It could be a bigger production. The way that it's told is so different, and it's really, really engaging too. So what I mean, Making the Magical Map has my heart for so many reasons, and hopefully it'll come back later. I mean, maybe it was just budgets and all that stuff, yada yada yada. So I'm holding off that. Hopefully we'll see it, and this is the first show back that has us sitting down like in daytime.
Yeah.
So that's a plus, because man, it's been rough without anything like that.
Yeah.
So bittersweet, of course, because it's not, again, Making the Magical Map, but the show is pretty cute. So something.
Yeah.
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 And what I've heard too is this is speculation from people, I guess, but now that some of the that show is opened up, that opens up more capacity in the park. So more reservations in theory are available, and then it's just going to be more packed in the parks, which is fun. Need to open up the Hyperion, and we need to get
Rogers.
everything open. Yeah.
Rogers the musical.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because I never got a chance to see it when it was a California Adventure. I remember it happening because they set it up normally, from what I remember, on the big stage that they have like all the performances for like Festival of Holidays and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say, are we at the point where we can say like Frozen has reached term at the Hyperion and it's time to put something else in? And
Agreed.
Could that be this Lion King show? Like, do you think it's big enough to put in something like the Hyperion, or did they make a good decision and put it in a theater that's appropriate for what the show is?
Ooh.
I would
You know
have
what?
to. Go ahead, Melissa.
Oh
sorry.
no, go ahead. I'll go after.
I mean, I do think that of the two performance spaces, that yes, it's probably more suited for the Fantasyland theater. The stage is a little smaller. It's less tech heavy when it comes to the capabilities of the space, just because it's older and it's outdoors, so it doesn't have the fly loft and things like that. The Hyperion is a fully functioning Broadway-style proscenium theater. Has like 80-something line sets and a stage automation and clown launchers and trapdoors and all kinds of fun stuff in there that I can go on and on about. But that Lion King show, unless they really kind of dialed it up to 25 from the whatever it is now, it would feel small in that space, because it is kind of from the things I've seen, it's kind of a like storytelling kind of thing, more than a big performance, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So That's of the two spaces, I think the Fantasyland Theater is the better option.
Perfectly said. Hyperion Theater would be underutilized big
Correct.
time. The show is storytelling, so you don't really need all that theatrics kind of stuff. That's why Fantasyland Theater is much better. It fits that production perfectly. So that's why I was like, well, then as soon as you're mentioning Frozen, I'm like, Rogers the musical, please.
Look, I am not against that at all. All right. Because there are certain shows that I think are specifically created for a particular space, right? Like the Beauty and the Beast show, obviously, that they have at the Fantasy Fair. Like, I think that's perfect. Like, it's just enough for the tiny stage that they have going on there.
Exactly.
So there's always going to be shows that will require less production value, and for good reason, right? Because they're going to port people over. They're going to have a bunch of people standing around instead of standing in the lines or, crowding around a parade or something like that. So I guess if we could choose something that goes into the Hyperion, my vote is for Rogers the Musical. I think that with the theme of Avengers Campus and everything, like, I get the whole looking down Hollywood Boulevard and, like, seeing the Hyperion and everything, but it's so close to Mission Breakout and it's so close to just the opening of Avengers Campus that it's a hop, skip, and a jump away from being converted over into, Broadway, or an off-Broadway production or something like that. So,
Well, and that's what the nice thing is about the Hyperion is that it is a theater, and a show can happen in a theater, and it doesn't have to be themed to any particular thing. I mean, Frozen doesn't fit in the land, and Aladdin didn't fit in the land any better than a Rogers the Musical would fit, just because it was just Hollywood themed. Hollywood land could be anything, and it's just like, this is the theater, and we are presenting the tour, quote unquote, of this or whatever. So
that's a great point.
The theater, that what's nice about having it be just like, this is a performance venue and you're going to see a performance, as opposed to trying to build a whole lore around it, gives you that leeway to put anything in there. And you could, in theory, do things in rep where you do two shows and they can switch out depending on stuff, but I'll keep talking forever. But there's no reason that you couldn't put Rogers the Musical in there, or you could put Hercules in there, or Hunchback of Notre Dame. You could put Beauty and the Beast. You can put anything in there, Spider-Man, whatever you want, and it would fit both land. It'd fit Hollywood land just fine because it's just a performance space.
With your experience in setting up some of these shows and knowing what goes into the production and everything behind the curtain, how easy would it be? Like, we get like an overlay for the Haunted Mansion like once a year, right? And they shut it down for about a month or something to convert the whole thing. How quickly can you convert, let's say that this year they say, like, yeah, Frozen is at the Hyperion, but, for 3 months we're going to have Hamilton on stage at California Adventure. Like, how quickly could you convert it to another show? And is it feasible to do something for 3 to 6 months and then switch it back?
So it all depends on how a show is built. And so if it's built as an installation, it's a lot harder to get that show out of the building. So if you have the show built as a touring set or something along that way, it would be a lot easier to pull that out and put something new in. When we do Broadway tours, our load-ins are 1 day to 3 days at the most, because these are, the scenery is meant to go up quickly and the lights are meant to do this and da-da-da-da-da. So if there's a lot of background setup involved, beforehand, pre-planning, where the show that's being built, that's like the residence show, is something that is easily pulled down, then you could use it as a touring space. I've I had the chance to talk with a technical director over there quite a number of years ago, and the theater itself is built to accommodate touring shows. So it is a fully functioning theater capable of doing tours. It's a phenomenal space, and one of these days I'll have to bust out the. I have a booklet that he gave me that gives the whole specs of the building at the time. This was 2012. But the building itself is just an amazing space, capable of so many things. So to answer your question in a very long form, depending on how the show is built, it could take, maybe a week if it was built as a touring type show, a week or two at the most to switch shows out. So in my experience, it's very feasible to switch stuff out in a space like that, especially because the theater is built to accommodate that.
Interesting. Yeah, dude, if you could find that booklet, I would love to hear more about that theater. I think it would be like an interesting, especially for all the theater nerds out there that really enjoy hearing about this stuff.
it was when Aladdin was going on, so it tells you like, oh, there's 75,000 pounds in the air of scenery, and there's 150,000 pounds of scenery on deck, and there's 80 line sets that do this, and there's only one human pole, da-da-da-da. I have it somewhere in this room I'm sitting in. It exists, and I will find it, and maybe I'll scan it and stick it on Discord or something, because it's very cool information on that pamphlet.
Awesome. Yeah, I would love to. Maybe we could dedicate a segment and you can walk us through it before we post it. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, Disney, if you want something new, give us Rogers the Musical. And I think people would love to see something new at the Hyperion, especially if you're going to open, more of these spaces to the public. Why not open it with a bang and bring in the Avengers and give us something that, we got a little taste of in Hawkeye, but now we want to see actually come to life at the Hyperion. So, Andrew's ready to go help you set it all up.
Yeah, you need a lighting designer, call me up. I mean, I know, I won't take that job. A guy I follow on Instagram, Mike Wood, did the lighting design for Rogers Musical in Hawkeye, so they should bring him back. But
he'll need somebody to help him.
If you need an L2, call me up.
Boom. All right, so let's quickly talk about some of the Star Wars stuff that was happening this weekend. But before we do that, I do want to remind you that this episode of Podketeers, like all the others, are brought to you by a fantastic group of listeners known as the FGP Squad, our podcast, Fairy Godparents, because it is their support via Patreon that help make these episodes possible. Being a part of the FGP Squad family gets you some additional perks like access to our happy hour calls, a special section on our Discord server, discount codes for Podketeers gear, first access to a lot of the new Podketeers gear that we're putting out, random giveaways, all sorts of stuff. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, send us a quick note on Instagram or hop over to Discord. We'll be happy to answer any questions there. But, of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we want to send a huge thank you for your continued support.
You guys are so cool.
Yeah. I think we're finally at a spot where we can get back to doing another call. So information on our next happy hour call is going to be coming soon. So cross your fingers. Everything so far so good. I think we're going to be ready for our June call. So stay tuned for that info. Star Wars. Some announcements obviously came out during Star Wars Celebration weekend. Again, I didn't pay too much attention, but I did see a picture of Grogu sitting in Din Djarin's ship, and it was awesome. I need one of those in my life, both the ship and Grogu, because it just looked awesome. We got an announcement that Boba Fett and Fennec Shand are going to be coming to Galaxy's Edge. Looks like they're appearing now, actually, as we're recording this episode. Release date, they're there. They're ready. Din Djarin and Grogu are going to be coming later on. And looks like for Star Wars night, Ahsoka Tano came back. I think she was there for the first night, if I remember correctly. But it looks like she was back. I think Ahsoka's a really great character to have in Galaxy's Edge. I like that they're doing this because I think we had figured out like what the timeline was for Galaxy's Edge at one point, and it kind of didn't fit within this timeline. But if Disney's officially moving away from the timeline that they had originally set Galaxy's Edge to be in. And they're just going to kind of bring characters to this Star Wars land that they have created. I think people are going to get a much bigger kick out of it, and they're just going to enjoy it a whole lot more, because there isn't, like, the story of Galaxy's Edge and everything, while it's intriguing, it hasn't been fully built out to an extent where people have become a fanatic of it, like they have, you know, the first 3 episodes or some of the characters that we've met in The Mandalorian and so on. So the fact that they've kind of broken away a little bit from that timeline and have decided to give us these characters that we love, that's a great decision. I think a lot more people are going to go a little crazier over it now.
Oh yeah, bringing in The Mandalorian alone, I mean, with the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I think is a good move, just to have some of that licensing and characters in there for kids to have something to really connect to. I mean, Rey did a really good job, I would say, when they bring her, and still is fairly popular. So I don't know about too much of being a disconnection of you know, how we're saying here, because I'll be honest, when I go to the park, I see a lot of the lightsabers still, and I still see a lot of people, you know, trying to connect to that land. But I would say if you're like putting it to characters, they haven't done a job anything quite like Captain America's being over in Marvel, and then not even talk about Disney Plus shows like Loki, and then recently we saw Scarlet Witch, right, at Avengers Campus. So it is good that they're breaking the timeline from what it looks like. I don't think the hardcore fan really is going to judge that if they could get like a cool moment with one of the characters like Boba Fett and Fennec Shan. I mean, that's a really cool thing. You want some of that Disney Plus love like they're getting over Avengers Campus to come over here, because especially for the kids too, right? That's kind of key.
Yeah, totally. It's how do I say this? The atmosphere itself, just having like their presence, just makes everything different. So I'm really curious to see Fennec Shand like just do her thing. I've mentioned it before, but Vi is one of my favorite people to watch. I don't know what it is, but she's so mysterious and just adds that element. So I can't wait to actually get to see this. I'm not going to try to go meet them. I just want to watch from afar and just watch them do their thing. That's the fun part. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, it's I think it's only to their benefit that that they kind of stray away from this hard timeline dates, because the characters from the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy now are so, I mean, the original trilogy is just so widely known. When you say Star Wars, people don't automatically think Rey and Finn and Poe. They think of Darth Vader and Luke and Leia and Han and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So it's only going to benefit them to bring these characters to Galaxy's Edge, and I think they're doing it in the best way they can, trying to still, you know, I think if they just don't address it, they just show up, nobody's gonna, right. People are just gonna be excited to see them. That's all it's really gonna be. They're like, oh, okay, look, okay, Darth Vader's here. As long as like Darth Vader and Kylo Ren aren't like in the same place at the same time, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
But you know, if they can kind of keep, you know, maybe one little section is like, this is the original trilogy section, and this is kind of where they hang out, and then this is like the, you know, the new trilogy and whatever. So everybody can kind of still have whatever. I don't know, but I think it's I just keep saying to their benefit because I got nothing else better to say. People are gonna love it. Just bring Luke and Han Solo and
I want Darth Maul back.
Oh,
yeah, Darth
yeah.
Maul. Bring you know, give us some I don't know, figuring Dan of the modal nodes. I just get all kinds of people in there. Get Greedo and get some. I don't know, Jabba the Hutt, everybody. Like, wow. Wouldn't it be cool if there's just a big old Jabba the Hutt, you open like a door, and it's like...
Well, I'm thinking, yeah, like when they used to roll them in on the last show we just watched with Boba Fett, where they had the brother and sister.
Oh,
like, thinking them having like this whole little...
That would be
animatronic
awesome.
they carry in that walks through Galaxy's Edge, like they have him up on like a hoist or something. Like you kind of see it like a kind of like an entourage thing, right? That would be cool.
Well, we did. I think when we armchair imagineered parades, we wondered about like what type of parade we could have at Galaxy's Edge, right? Like we don't need a full parade. We just need like these processionals or something. Like we just
There you
need,
go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
you know,
That's
like
it.
if
That's
you
the
just
word.
saw
It's
them,
just the twins
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
dude, and then you have tactical Chewbacca walking around.
Yeah,
Right.
that's so
Right.
cool.
So, Larry, you brought a really good point. They're kind of doing this Disney Plus style, right? Like we're seeing something on the shows, and then they're bringing those characters to the land. I love that, but obviously, there's going to be times where shows are just not going to be available. They're not going to have anything new. We're just lucky that right now we've had back-to-back shows set up. Eventually, I think they're going to want to do the same thing with Star Wars, but for now, I think, you know, if you could see like top 5 characters, I know we've all kind of spouted out characters, but top 5 characters that you would want to see in Galaxy's Edge, who would they be? You know, I want to post this out to everybody. You know, join the conversation, obviously, on Discord or Instagram, whatever, wherever you follow us. Like you said, Andrew, it's not just to benefit them, but as a guest, you benefit, right? Because I think Galaxy's Edge was built with so many adults in mind that there isn't a lot for children to do. And Mel, you brought up a really great point. Like, Vi Marati is one of the like highlights of Galaxy's Edge because there's kids trailing her, and you know they're out, you know, solving these things, and you know, like you said, she's so mysterious, and you know, obviously Rey and Chewie had a following when there was kids there, but it's not a big kid-friendly land. It's mainly for adults. You know, and so having these characters that children are familiar with is going to raise the value of that land so much more, you know, and it's going to make it just more interesting for the people that don't need to know about Black Spire Outpost. They came to see, like you said, Darth Vader, you know, or Han Solo or something like that, and that's who they're familiar with. That's who they want their picture with, and boom, they got it. Much happier, you know, ultimately. So, if you, well, let's make it 3 characters. Like, let's just go around. Mel, top 3 characters you would want to see at Galaxy's Edge.
Babu Frick.
Nice.
He's like, I still want one day. Leia
Oh yeah.
and
Princess or General?
Princess.
Okay.
Why not both?
True.
Why not both? Day and night. There you go. And you know what? You mentioned Darth Maul. I miss seeing him at the Academy. So if he could do that, and then they just play his music, he does his little thing, I could care less if he's not fighting anybody. It'd be just cool just to see that show.
That'd be funny.
There you go.
Larry, who would you like to see?
I'm gonna keep it. Well, Darth Maul was definitely up there because I used to love seeing him come out in that show. That was my jam. I'm gonna try to keep it all the good side. So I'm gonna go with my 3. These are probably in rank. So 3, I'd want to see Yoda
Oh, great choice.
propped up
Oh.
somewhere.
Great choice.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And then 2 would be Qui-Gon, and number 1 Obi-Wan. Those are the other
Okay.
characters I like.
Great choices. Great choices. I didn't even. Oh, okay. Andrew, your 3.
Okay, so I don't know. Should I do funny answers or serious
Oh, yeah,
answers?
go
Because I
for
have
it.
both.
Go for it.
Okay, here's my funny answers because you know we got to see Lumpy.
Yeah, that's
Lumpy.
true. We do.
Chewbacca's son
Yeah, we
Lumpy.
need Lumpy.
We got to see Lumpy.
Okay.
You know, how about Chewbacca's whole family? We could have Mom,
Yeah.
and we
Family
can have
reunion.
Itchy. We
Yeah.
can have the whole
On
family
Life
reunion.
Day, we could have
On
all
Life
of his
Day.
family there
Ooh.
We
celebrating.
need Lumpy. And Dexter Jetster. You know, maybe they
Oh.
set up like a Dexter Jetster like diner or something. He's back there cooking. And you know, you got to get Watto in like the Toydarian toy shop. Like you got to have Watto out there selling his wares. Those are my silly answers. My my actual answers are Han Solo, K2SO, and Probably Lando.
Oh,
I
that's
think
a
that
good
would
one.
be Han and Lando would be
Yeah.
fun.
That'd be fun.
Oh man. Yeah, those are great choices too. Lando was on my short list as well. I would want Mace Windu, Lando,
Yeah.
and Palpatine. I think
Palpatine
Palpatine
would
would be
be a good one.
a
That'd be a
really
good
good
one.
character, especially if you're into the dark side characters.
Scary.
Here's the thing. So even if we're sticking with the timeline, like, why are we not got C-3PO?
That's
Like,
true. I mean,
Yeah.
C-3PO's in every movie.
And R2.
What? R2's like kind of made some appearances at Galaxy's Edge, but not regularly. But
No,
like
yeah.
C-3PO, come on, that's like easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like,
Yeah.
like put him up on a walkway and just have him walking around or whatever, so people can't touch him. And boom, C-3PO. There you go. Like,
So I have a silly suggestion. I'm going to take, oh gosh, I'm going to take the idea of the twins and how we were talking about the Hutts.
mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, why can't there be a processional with the Cantina band?
Yes. Oh,
You're
yeah,
welcome.
Bigger and
Cantina
Dan
Band.
and the Modal Notes.
And the Cantina
There you
Band,
go.
by the way, appeared at Star Wars Night on the Rivers of America. So it's not like they're
oh
not there.
my gosh,
Okay.
see,
Don't
see
stop
I got it.
disrespecting them. Their name is Figure and Dan and the Modal Notes.
That's true.
Well, yes, I apologize, Andrew.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, I mean, look, honestly, I think they can't go wrong with adding any of these characters. But if they're gonna stick to just timeline, if we're going to be just releasing new characters, or they want to keep it kind of within what's popular, they also can't go wrong with adding characters like Sabine and Ezra and Ahsoka Tano. You know, all these characters.
Phineas and Gus and Hatbox
Yes,
Ghost
and Phineas and Ferb and Candace and yeah, Perry the Platypus, like
Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
like all these characters, obviously from Bad Batch and from Rebels and from all these like series that are on Disney Plus. A lot of people watch those, including children, and so if you bring those characters in, I think they're gonna bring you back a lot on the investment, right? Because people are familiar with them, and if you really want to start catering to that future crowd, you know, you got to start bringing some more of these characters in. So not that like characters like Vi Marati or anything aren't great, but how many people were familiar with her story if you didn't read the Black Spire Outpost comic that they put out when it first opened, right?
Exactly.
Like that's what you need. You need what's familiar in order to bring more people in. So glad they're making this change. If you have any characters that you would like to see if they made this full change and just started bringing all the characters in, you know, who are 2 or 3 characters you'd like to see in Galaxy's Edge? Join the conversation, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but of course we'd love to have you over on in our Discord community. Let us know.
I got another good one. Okay, so they need to. So you guys know Sonny Eclipse, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know Sonny Eclipse from Walt Disney World. He's got space organ.
Yeah.
It's like a big circle organ. Well, who else has a big circle organ? Max Rebo. You know, everybody in a blue little elephant guy, Max Rebo. So we just need like another restaurant or bar or something where instead of Rex, we have like a Sonny Eclipse style Max Rebo, and he's playing some tunes. Come on, baby.
Nice. You know what they could also do?
So much.
They could do so much, yeah. If they're not going to give us like a real bantha, they could just do like one of those magical pictures that they do with like the other characters where you're just kind of like standing in front of one or something. Like
Or they
there's-
could do, yeah, or they could do like you coming out of a tauntaun,
Yes, like
No.
you're
and
just
it
ripping
has
it
like
open.
it has like a thing that says, "I thought they smelled
good.
bad on the outside." and-
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Obi-Wan before we wrap up this episode. First 2 episodes have dropped onto Disney Plus. It is a 6 episode story arc that they're going to be telling for Obi-Wan. Your thoughts on this?
It seems familiar at some points. There's some questions. I do have questions because I didn't understand a lot of stuff, but I found that it took a little bit more to explain at the end. But it was really fun to see the little subtle not phrases, poses, similarities that we're familiar with the original trilogy. It's, I mean, it's fun. It is. It totally is. But yeah, I hope I get the answers. I mean, the questions answered.
And I guess I should say before we continue, we may drop a couple of spoilers. So if you haven't yet seen the first 2 episodes of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, you may want to come back and listen later, because there's a couple of things that I want to say that are definitely going to ruin what happens in the show. But anyway,
I try to be nice.
yeah. Larry, your thoughts on the first 2 episodes so far?
I am 100% on board, but I am super biased, so keep that in mind. Right for me, the score is back. That is the score I grew up with, and going back to the episodes, the 1, 2, and 3, that this starts the story from, the story arc, I just felt right back at home with Star Wars. And then, repraising his role, Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, I think I immediately just started getting nostalgia as a Star Wars fan. But then I stepped back and just tried to soak it in for its cinematic value as a show on Disney Plus. And then would I pay for Disney Plus to watch this in the first 2 episodes? And I would, but I'm not going to argue with anyone that's saying, oh man, I need a little bit of catch up to get involved with this one. But then I say, well, there's like 50 Marvel movies, so don't necessarily come with that, because there's only technically the Star Wars, if you don't get into all the series that came after the episodes, and then also 4, 5, and 6, and recently. There's not as much catching up to do. I just think when they tell the story, don't think of Marvel. You have to think of Star Wars and how it's built in regards to what our Jedi stood for in the timeline of this show and what it has became. And now the story they're trying to tell really is Obi-Wan's story of where you would, if you watch the movies, there's a gap. You just kind of jumped into it, being like, if you were trying to really do like a Marvel thing and chronologically line them up from the episodes to starting off with A New Hope, you'd be like, well, what happened in between that timeline? And that's the story it's telling really nicely. And just, I think for me, it's already gotten me feeling really good on the casting choices for who plays the younger characters right now. They did a really good job. And I think that's what Melissa was hinting at.
You're talking about getting caught up on Obi-Wan, and they do a pretty good job of like the first, like, it was like skip recap, and I was like, I probably shouldn't skip this recap of like 10 minutes of recap of, okay, here's Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship. They just kind of do that they just kind of give you the Cliff Notes version of their whole relationship
dynamic.
Yeah, it just the whole backstory through the whole thing. And so that I think was very helpful in just kind of reintroducing you to these characters, and kind of where it's kind of like place setting of like, okay, this is kind of the tone that we're going for, what we're playing into with that introduction. And like you said, the characters are great, not just Ewan McGregor, but we have we know that Babu Frick, not Babu Frick. Hayden Christensen, yes, is reprising his role as Anakin. Plus, we got Jimmy Smits coming back in the saddle with Bail Organa, and we got what other guy playing Uncle Owen. I mean, we got a lot of
Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, Joel Edgerton. Yeah, we got all kinds of people coming back, so it's a lot of familiar faces. I didn't remember that Jimmy Smits was coming back, and I was sitting on there. I was like, all right, there's young Leia. Okay, is Jimmy Smits gonna be here? Is he coming back? Are they recast him? Nope, he's there. Okay. So yeah, I've been happy with the series so far. Lots of cool stuff. I don't know how deep we want to get into it. but I'm excited. Yeah, young Leia seems great. There's been a lot of positive praise for her acting on the internet. That Lola floaty droid thing is pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's
I
the
like
new
that
So
thing.
cute.
Next
BB-8.
toy.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's gonna want one.
If you can make that a little drone that actually follows you around, you are going
Aw.
to make so much money off of that. Don't worry,
Oh,
Disney.
yeah.
You're welcome for the idea. Just break us off like 5-10% of that.
There we go, easy peasy.
I was surprised to see Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I was gonna bring
Yes!
up Flea too. I was like,
That
is that
was cool.
Flea?
I had no
And
idea that he was going to be in it.
Kumail Nanjiani
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like a stacked.
That tricked me because I remember we talked about it once, and I thought, oh, he's gonna be a droid. And wow, a spoiler, he's not a droid.
He's not a droid.
It's
He's
really
a-
good,
yeah.
really good casting. For
Yeah.
him.
But
That was good.
I can't remember his name. He's the guy from the Fast and the Furious. Is one of the Inquisitors. Inquisitor guys. He was like introduced in Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I can't remember his name.
Which
off the top of
part
my
is
head. I'm
that,
sure I
like
could look it up.
74?
That's 3.
Oh, I don't
That's
know.
like he was early. He's not the main Inquisitor guy. He's the guy with like the flat hat.
The brother.
Yeah, he's not the main guy, and he's not the sister. He's the other guy.
Sung Kang, is that it?
Yeah.
Sung Kang.
Yeah,
I think, the fifth
yeah.
brother.
He's the fifth brother. He's from Fast and the Furious.
Interesting.
But anyway, continue Heyzen. So many people. Flea was there. He was cool.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't. For all the ones that you mentioned are pretty much a lot of the ones that I recognize. What you mentioned, the recap that they did, I kind of wish that Marvel would do that, because if they added that to
Yeah.
like the beginning of WandaVision or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like it would give you so much more context that for people that ask you, whether it's Star Wars or Marvel, it doesn't matter. Like for the people that ask you, like, well, what do I have to watch in order to enjoy this show? And they don't want to sit through, like you said, Larry, there's so many MCU movies, like maybe they don't want to sit through 12 hours of recaps for 5 or 6 scenes that this particular character is in, right? But they did it so well in this that I wish they did it for all the other shows. I know that if they did it, it might break some continuity. Something like for WandaVision, I know what they ended up doing in Multiverse of Madness versus WandaVision versus where Wanda's powers came from in Age of Ultron. Like, it kind of breaks some of the canon. And so that would be something you would have to manage. You would have to be really particular about what scenes you end up showing to tell your story. But you control the narrative, right? Editing is editing, so you could tell it however you want to get you to that point. This did a fantastic job. I felt like I watched these films all over. Like, it was such a great refresher to get me into where I needed to be to start enjoying this. Like, I felt like I enjoyed it so much more because I haven't seen these films in years. You know, it's been over a decade probably since I've seen those 3 films. No, it's been less than that, because I know when I saw the whole series about 5 or 6 years ago now. It was recent. The point is, it's been a long time. Everybody's been cast so well in this. I'm enjoying this as much as I've been enjoying The Mandalorian. From the production standpoint, these two, they're great so far. Like the scenery, the acting, the actress that they got for Leia. I mean, she is a firecracker. I love that little
She
girl.
is.
She's so awesome.
I think she's gonna like win a like an Emmy or something for this if this is up. I think so. Like, she's doing such a fantastic job.
Yeah.
She's good. Like, man, like if that's Leia's spirit, and the fact that she's capturing it, like, whew. I loved her scene when she cut down her cousin. I'm like, that was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Deborah Chow is directing this series, right?
I believe
Exactly.
so.
Okay, yeah. She's really connected to the characters and she understands what they stand for, right? Because all the
Oh
other all
yeah.
the other characters are adults. They're familiar with who they played and who they're supposed to represent, but these children are coming into this for the very first time and they have a pretty huge legacy to stand in, right? So that's a big shadow.
Mhm.
And so far this character is nailing it. Like such a great job. Now let's see what happens when we finally see Luke.
I mean, we've already like kind of seen him, but not like
Yeah,
we saw him through some
I thought it was
binoculars.
Anakin, but yeah, it was all good. um, what do you want to see by the end of the series? It's only 6 episodes. Where do you think this is going to end? Or what would you like to see revealed that kind of, like you mentioned, there's a lot of gaps from when, one thing happens to the next and then we end up in episode 4. Like, what do you want to see resolved if you had, like, the option to choose that? Or are you just along for the ride? Like, is there anything specific that you want answered in this series?
I'm along for the ride. I'm gonna just say that right now. I have no expectations.
The opening scene of this series, I think, is what people are looking for in a Star Wars series. It was just like, boom, lightsabers, and we're fighting, and there's lightsabers, and you're fighting, and there's lightsabers. Like, that's all really people want to see, right? Is people fighting with lightsabers? Like, I think that's what people want to see. They're cool, colorful swords that people are swinging around. Like, that, just hitting the, ground running with just boom, lightsaber battle, I think was a smart move. And I think as long as we get some more of that throughout the series, I think people will be happy because we've been a little lightsaber shy so far in these Star Wars series. And that's the big thing. That's Star Wars, is lightsabers. Like, that's, you think of Star Wars, you think of lightsabers. Like, that's the thing. And so to have 2 series with very, very minimal lightsabers at best, and then to start this one out with just such a big boom lightsaber, here we go, is I think that's kind of what I'm looking for in this, is just like, hey, can we have some fun lightsaber things going on? Because that would be cool. And then, yeah, seeing kind of how Luke and Leia kind of grow into their older selves that we meet in the original trilogy is going to be something interesting. And I'm sure that they're going to kind of address some things that maybe we don't even think about, as like, oh, that's why they said this thing, or that's why they did this thing, because this thing happened in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting lightsabers.
I think Andrew nailed the lightsaber thing. That's what probably got me into it. I think I think the using the Force, the lightsabers, brings back that nostalgia points. If you're looking for what's going to be included for cool little things in the storytelling, because that's Star Wars. That is Star Wars. I think what I'm liking about this one, how it's being told, is there's always a little bit of it explaining the character struggle in regards to the good and bad, the evil and what it stood for, and having hope. And I think Obi-Wan already is showing in these episodes his hope is really low. And a part of that is he's trying to find it in somebody, which, I mean, I think I've mentioned before, if he connects with the Force like the other Jedis did, that is going to be the biggest payoff for me, because like I mentioned a little earlier, who top 3 Jedis I'd like to see at Galaxy's Edge. If he could connect with his master, payoff. And I want to see like the moment, I don't want to ruin too much. We did say spoilers, like kind of a moment that Obi-Wan had in episode 2. I wonder how Darth Vader is going to take the connection between Luke and Leia being out there, being raised by other parents, and Obi-Wan having that. There's going to be a confrontation. There has to be at a point when they meet each other, and how that's going to go down. And I think Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor were such good characters in the first movies because they took the roles really deep in regards to what they were trying to tell on these backstories for these characters. And I think they're going to repraise that a little bit again. and it's probably gonna be towards the end. And that's the part I look forward to, because I think that's what gives you the whole real like Star Wars, like, oh man, like that just kind of pulls you to what it's going to be. And a payoff already for me early is, I never really thought about it when I watched it, but Leia has such a connection with Obi-Wan when you watch, now technically would be 4, 5, and 6, right? And I thought, wow, this really kind of gives you a little bit of premise to that. Just watching these episode 1 and 2, like, oh, you would feel a real connection to Obi-Wan if you were Leia.
This is how they meet. This is how they build their backstory. How
Exactly.
she comes to know Obi-Wan and can then call on him again to be her only hope.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it the third sister that's hunting?
Obi-Wan?
Who's
Yes.
hunting Ben?
Yeah,
the
it's
third,
third.
right?
The third. Yeah.
And what is her real name? Reva?
Reva?
Reva, right?
Reva.
So I read this interesting theory about Reva, and I know to some people this is it's gonna seem slightly disconnected, but honestly, I hope that we get to hear how Obi-Wan was and wasn't fully involved in Order 66, and where Grogu comes from, and how he's connected to the story, because at some point he was getting trained, right? We know this already from The Mandalorian. But how does he play into like Yoda, and how does he play into Luke, and how does he play, because this is taking place 10 years before A New Hope. And The Mandalorian takes place 10 years after A New Hope. So 20 years go by between this and The Mandalorian. Like, there's so many questions about, because, I mean, let's be honest, the future of Star Wars is Grogu. Okay, I know that sounds weird to say, but if Grogu didn't exist, I don't think these series, especially in The Mandalorian, could have taken off like they did. I know that's a little controversial to say for some people, but it's true. And so I think they're going to heavily rely on Grogu and the connections he's made with Din Djarin and the other characters that he interacts with, like Ahsoka Tano, maybe Ezra, and who knows, maybe Reva was one of the children. This is that theory that I was reading, that Reva was one of the children that was part of Order 66 and that she escaped. And because one thing we don't know is, why does she hate Obi-Wan Kenobi so much? Like, what's her beef with him, right? And so the theory is that she was one of the children that he didn't save. And because of that, she thinks Jedi are cowards and that they're not going to really help you. And she has this personal vendetta against finding him in particular and then putting him through what she went through as a child. So I think it's a great theory. I'm learning a lot from just researching this and kind of watching this show. But I hope that we get an answer to, like, Grogu, because I really think it's going to be pivotal for the other. I mean, we're getting season 3 of The Mandalorian soon. I think later this year, if I'm correct. But
next year.
Yeah, but the new season of The Mandalorian is going to be heavily on, like, his home planet. Like, he's going to be trying to find that redemption of, he took off his helmet and now he's told that he's got to go find the waters in these caves of, you know what I mean? So I don't know if we're going to get a Grogu story there. Like, maybe this is the time we get it. Like, it interacts with all the characters that we know from the original trilogy, introduces some new characters, and at the same time, it's connecting all of these other shows and all of these other stories that can help you advance the, what's happening either in anything new, obviously, that's going to be coming up. Maybe we get more in the next season of Bad Batch, but there's, like I said, there's all these characters that haven't been introduced yet that we might finally get a chance to see, like Ezra and Sabine, right? I don't know. Biggest thing I hope to get out of this season, like, I'm with you, Mel. I'm kind of along for the ride. I'm really enjoying it so far, but I kind of hope we get some answers to Grogu in this.
Fair enough.
I'm going to say the exact opposite of you. I hope we don't, and the only reason for that is because this is such a limited series, I'd rather us not take time away from Obi-Wan's story and Leia's story to try and explore all these other avenues of, The Mandalorian and Boba Fett and da-da-da-da-da. I would rather us just have, you know what? All right, Mandalorian season 3, they announced Grogu the series or whatever, because I just feel like because we're in 6 episodes, and these episodes are short. I mean, they're 30. What the first one was like 40 something, and the second one was 30 something.
Yeah.
So they're pretty short. This is basically a movie that they broke up into 6 parts. So if we pull too much into other characters that we want to learn more about, I think it's just going to give us less screen time for Leia and for Obi-Wan and for Anakin to see their stories kind of be complete in this gap that we're trying to explore. So that's my opinion. If we get some Grogu stuff, I won't be upset about it, but I'm hoping that we kind of just stick with our main kind of core group here, just to see where their stories go.
Okay,
That's a good point.
that's a good argument for it. Given the fact that Obi-Wan and Leia don't get any screen time together in the original trilogy, and this is basically what the story seems to be building on, I'm going to agree with you. I think I'll stick to the if we get Grogu now, I'm cool with it. Like, I hope that there's a mention then, at least. Like maybe they show a shot of a bunch of children, and in the background you see like little Grogu running around or something like that.
There
So
you
maybe
go. That
he
would be
doesn't get
fine.
mentioned, but you see something that represents him, that makes you aware of the fact that he was a part of something within that world. So
Gotcha.
I would be content with that. I think that's a good enough Grogu reference, and you make a good enough point that yes, I don't want to take away from the story. That's a good argument. So okay, I'm cool with that.
Boom, defeated.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? No, that's fine. I mean, honestly, it is a good argument. You're right, because in 6 episodes, you don't want to take away too much from the story. If they were 1-hour episodes, I could see that it does allow you a little bit more leeway to add this type of storytelling to it. But if all the episodes are going to be about 30 minutes or so, you're right. It is just basically a big movie that they chopped up into little episodes, and you don't want to take away from that story. I would rather they concentrate on Leia and eventually, introduce Luke, because obviously we get a lot of Luke in everything after. So
Also lightsabers.
also lightsabers, yeah. I'm pretty sure we're going to get way more lightsabers, but
Yeah, because Obi-Wan keeps using this stupid blaster, and he's got a lightsaber in his pocket, and he's not doing anything with it.
yeah. There was that scene where I thought he was going to engage the lightsaber, and it didn't happen, because he was like, there was that other scuffle that went on. But we got close. It's coming. It's coming.
We got it. You know what? Obi-Wan and Anakin have to meet, and they got to fight with some lightsabers. Like, that's got to happen.
Yeah.
They're both in this, and lightsabers are there. So come on. If that doesn't happen, I think everybody will be just a little sad.
I have a feeling that meeting between them is going to be the first and only time that Obi-Wan engages his lightsaber.
And then maybe Anakin will have the higher ground, and they'll make a little joke.
Maybe.
It'll be funny.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up this talk. If you have any comments or theories about where the show is going to be going, or anything you'd like to see from this 6-episode story arc, join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you over in our Discord community. Again, if you haven't joined us yet, super easy. You can head over to our Instagram stories. We have a pinned story where you can click on the Discord link. It'll take you over a couple clicks or taps of your phone if that's where you're joining from, and you'll be able to join the community from there. Or you can go to podketeers.com/415, and you can click on the Discord logo there. Any final thoughts on anything we talked about in this episode before we wrap up for today?
Soup?
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. So until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Yes.
That was awesome.
All the yes.
Part of the Podketeers Network.